Have you ever thought that masturbation is a private, harmless act, even a way to relieve the pressures of old age? But what you may not know is that, after turning 70, certain seemingly innocent masturbation habits can quietly undermine both your physical and mental health. I know you're not alone. Many men aged 70 and above, living alone, retired, with grown children, are silently grappling with feelings of emptiness, stress, or loss of direction. In an effort to feel alive, they turn to masturbation as an escape, a way to fill that void. David, 74, was once a construction engineer in Texas. After his wife passed away, he began masturbating more often, initially to drown out his grief. But over time, he noticed poor sleep, low energy, and a growing reluctance to socialize. "I couldn't understand why I felt so drained," he shared, "until my doctor told me I was making the same mistakes many older men do." The problem is, no one ever taught us how to masturbate healthily in later life. Behaviors such as overusing porn, using masturbation to avoid negative emotions, or masturbating in isolation for too long are all factors that gradually erode an older person's physical strength, mental well-being, and emotional life. But you don't have to remain trapped in that cycle. By recognizing the 5 common mistakes doctors warn about, you can change. You can improve your health and strengthen your connection with yourself and others more properly and healthily. This video will outline the 5 most frequent masturbation mistakes after age 70, along with practical solutions to help you restore balance, live more contentedly, and grow stronger each day. If you care about men's health in later life, please hit like, share the video, and leave a comment, because what you share might help someone else. Now let's begin the journey of uncovering things you may never have considered, but that could change your life starting today. After the age of 70, the body is no longer what it was in youth. Yet many older men continue the habit of masturbating with the same intensity, speed, and urgency as they did when they were younger. They see it as a way to test their performance, without realizing that the body has changed, and treating it as if it were still 30 years ago can lead to unintended consequences. In fact, many elderly gentlemen feel dizzy, fatigued, or experience a dull ache after masturbating, but they don't know the real cause. Some face issues like incomplete urination, urinary leakage, or pain in the pelvic floor area. These symptoms aren't simply the result of aging. They often stem from inappropriate masturbation techniques, gripping too tightly, moving too fast, or using incorrect positions that strain the pelvic muscles and cardiovascular system. The risk of fainting or falling after climaxing is also not uncommon, especially in men with a history of high blood pressure or heart disease. The solution lies in adjustment, gentler, slower, and more mindful. Instead of rushing to climax, view masturbation as a self-care ritual, a calming experience. Begin by choosing a comfortable position, lying down or sitting with your back well supported. Take time to warm up, not just your body, but also your breath. Breathe deeply and slowly to stabilize your heart rate. When you begin touching your body, reduce the pressure. Your body doesn't need to be activated like a machine. It needs to be listened to like an old friend. This shift from intensity to quality brings many benefits. Many men report feeling more relaxed, sleeping better, and even experiencing less pain in the hips or lower back after changing their approach to masturbation. More importantly, the sense of connection with their own body, which can fade with age, is restored. When you masturbate as an act of care, rather than a race, you're sending a message of love to yourself. However, it's not just the act that needs adjustment. The content you watch before and during masturbation also greatly impacts the quality of your experience. And in the next section, we'll explore a silent culprit that is harming the emotional and physical health of millions of older men: overstimulating pornographic content. In the age of the internet, accessing pornographic content has never been easier. But this convenience and abundance can become a double-edged sword, especially for older men. Many have developed a habit of masturbating while watching increasingly intense pornographic videos, not realizing that their brain and nervous system are being pulled into an invisible spiral of emotional numbness. When you're frequently exposed to high-intensity pornography, shocking visuals, fast pacing, stimulating sounds, The brain releases large amounts of dopamine, but just like consuming too much sugar, the body gradually becomes desensitized. Over time, you'll need even stronger stimulation to feel aroused. Ironically, this makes real-life sexual experiences, which are gentle, slower, and emotional, feel bland or even unsatisfying. The consequences extend beyond sexuality. A dopamine imbalance can also affect memory, focus, and daily mood. Some individuals feel withdrawn, low on energy, or easily irritable, without realizing that long-term exposure to overstimulating porn may be the cause. It also silently damages emotional connection, because when pleasure is associated with artificial imagery, the presence of a real person with natural rhythm and genuine emotion can feel too slow or not stimulating enough to arouse excitement. The solution lies in returning to subtlety. Instead of seeking increasingly extreme content, try gentler alternatives, those that focus on emotion, connection, or even imagination alone. Imagination is not only safe, but also evokes deeper, more personal feelings and carries a lower risk of dependency. You might also try incorporating soft music, dim lighting, and a private, peaceful space to create a fully relaxing experience. Many have changed this habit and seen a clear improvement in their lives: sharper thinking, more stable moods, and restored ability to connect with a partner, if one is present. You don't need to give it up entirely, but awareness and adjustment are crucial steps to avoid losing sensation, both physically and emotionally. We've just discussed what happens before and during masturbation, but there's something just as important that's often overlooked: what happens after. Pain or discomfort in the pelvic area or unusual urination may be signs that you're neglecting a critically important organ at this stage of life: the prostate gland. The prostate is a small but critically important organ in the male body, especially after the age of 70, when it becomes more sensitive and vulnerable than ever before. Yet it's often overlooked in discussions about masturbation or sexual health in older men. Many seniors continue to masturbate in a fast, hard, long style, unaware that they are placing considerable strain on the prostate. Excessive intensity during masturbation, or deliberately delaying ejaculation to prolong pleasure, can place immense pressure on the prostate. This often leads to subtle symptoms like a dull ache in the pelvic area, a heavy sensation when sitting, frequent urination, or a weak, interrupted urine stream. Worse still, repeated damage of this kind can lead to chronic prostatitis, a condition that brings ongoing discomfort and significantly affects both quality of life and overall sexual health. What's especially concerning is that many men don't associate these symptoms with their masturbation habits. They assume it's just part of getting old and choose to endure the discomfort or take pain relievers, rather than re-examining their own routines. In reality, just a few small adjustments can protect the prostate from unnecessary harm. Safe masturbation for the prostate doesn't require complex techniques. It's about listening to your body. Avoid putting excessive pressure on the perineal area, the space between the anus and scrotum. Don't prolong stimulation in a forced way, and stop immediately if you feel tension, discomfort, or burning pain. Use natural lubricants to reduce friction and maintain a relaxed position that doesn't compress or overly bend your body. Additionally, develop the habit of observing how your body feels after each session. Do you feel relaxed? Any heaviness in the lower abdomen or unusual urination? Any recurring sign is a signal that deserves attention. Regular checkups with a urologist are also a wise way to detect and prevent potential prostate issues early on. Caring for your prostate isn't just about protecting one organ. It's about preserving your overall sense of ease and freedom in your sexual life. When the prostate is healthy, you'll experience clearer sensations of pleasure, better control over ejaculation, and greater emotional stability. Because few things cause more silent stress than unexplained pain in a part of the body no one wants to talk about. But sometimes the problem isn't in how you masturbate, it's in why you do it. In the next section, we'll take a close look at one of the most common, yet emotionally harmful motivations: using masturbation to avoid feelings of loneliness and stress. Old age often brings changes not just in physical health, but also in social and emotional life. Children grow up, friends become fewer, and a spouse may have passed away or maybe no longer emotionally close. In that emptiness, many older men turn to masturbation as a way to soothe loneliness or relieve silent tension. At first, it may offer immediate relief, but over time, it can become a repetitive cycle that gradually distances them from the world around them. Masturbating out of loneliness is not the same as masturbating for pleasure. It often happens hastily, repetitively, and is followed by feelings of emptiness, guilt, or sadness, even more than before. The sense of satisfaction comes quickly, but fades just as fast, leaving behind a hollow feeling with no one to share it with. When this happens often, the brain begins to associate loneliness with the act of masturbation, turning it into a reflex whenever sadness or stress arises. Gradually, you're no longer masturbating because you want to, but because you need to escape the unspoken emotions quietly taking over inside. The problem isn't with masturbation itself, it's when it becomes the only way to cope with emotions. When these emotions aren't addressed properly, they continue to build up and wear down your mental health, leading to poor sleep, irritability, or a loss of interest in the world around you. It also weakens your ability to connect with others, friends, neighbors, or even your own children, because the more you use masturbation to hide, the more closed off you become. The way out of this cycle isn't to stop masturbating entirely, but to clarify your motivation. Before you begin, ask yourself, how am I feeling? Am I sad, lonely, or stressed? If the answer is yes, try something else first. Take a walk, call someone, read a passage from a book, or simply sit down and breathe deeply for a few minutes. You might be surprised to find that even a small act of social connection or a healthy habit can ease your mood. Additionally, staying engaged in regular activities like joining a community club, volunteering, playing music, painting, or learning a new skill are excellent ways to fill emotional gaps. When your spirit is nourished by connection and creativity, the need to use masturbation as a form of avoidance tends to lessen naturally. The truth is, all of us feel lonely at times, and there's nothing wrong with comforting yourself. But when you begin to choose ways that help you connect, rather than just escape, you are building a stronger emotional foundation for yourself. And sometimes, even when loneliness isn't the issue, another silent fear may be affecting your experience. Performance anxiety, fear of erectile dysfunction, or simply feeling that you're not the man you once were. In the final section, we'll explore how to release these hidden burdens so you can reclaim intimacy without pressure and rediscover pleasure in a more peaceful, confident way. After age 70, many men begin to feel noticeable changes in their bodies, accompanied by quiet anxieties about their manhood. You may have noticed that erections aren't as firm as before, don't last as long, or sometimes the desire fades even when it was there just moments ago. In these moments, masturbation, a natural act, can start to feel like an invisible test, a way to see whether you're still capable, still masculine. But this pressure is often the very thing causing the most harm. The feeling that I have to perform not only affects your mental state, but also impacts your physical response. When you're tense, your body produces cortisol, the stress hormone, which reduces blood flow to the genital area, lowers pleasure, and makes it harder to reach orgasm. The result, the more you try, the less success you have, and a vicious cycle of anxiety, failure, and self-blame begins to take shape. Many older men conclude that they're broken and withdraw entirely from masturbation or sexual activity. This leads to emotional isolation, a drop in self-esteem, and a fading sense of joy. Others seek quick fixes like erection-enhancing pills without addressing the root cause. They forget that the body isn't broken. It's simply functioning in a new way that deserves understanding and respect, not judgment. The healthier approach is to shift your perspective. Masturbation isn't a test to pass. It's an act of self-care. You don't need to be harder, longer, or stronger. You need to feel comfortable, safe, and connected to yourself. Not achieving a strong erection doesn't mean you've lost the ability to feel pleasure. There are many other ways to experience enjoyment. Gentle touch, massaging sensitive areas, or simply breathing deeply and tuning into your inner sensations. If anxiety about erectile dysfunction is lingering, don't hesitate to consult a healthcare professional. Today, there are many gentle and effective solutions, ranging from hormone therapy and prescription medications to psychological counseling, that can help you understand your body and rebuild your confidence. You can also try light exercises like yoga, Kegel routines, or regular walking to improve blood circulation and balance hormones. Eating well, getting enough sleep, and maintaining positive social connections are also key elements for boosting both sexual health and overall quality of life. In the end, the most important step is learning to listen to, rather than judge your body. Every change is not a sign of decline, but an invitation to adjust, to love, and to accept yourself more deeply. We've just taken a closer look at 5 common mistakes many men over 70 tend to make when it comes to masturbation. Overexerting the body, consuming excessive pornographic content, neglecting prostate health, avoiding feelings of loneliness, and becoming overly anxious about performance. These habits, if left unaddressed, can slowly erode both physical and emotional well-being. But here's the good news. Every single one of them can be changed. I invite you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, what have I learned from this journey? Where will I begin to make a change? It might be adjusting your posture, easing up on intensity, having a conversation with your doctor, or simply realizing that you are not alone in these feelings. If you found this message helpful, please click like and share it with someone you care about, a friend, a relative, because somewhere out there, another man might be silently searching for this kind of insight. I also warmly invite you to stay connected by following the upcoming content. We have so much more to explore, not just about sexual health, but about peace, freedom, and the joy of living fully in your later years. You are never too old to start living differently, to live more deeply, more fully, and more kindly toward yourself. Until next time, take care, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos.